Hey guys, so today's video is another Cat Chats. This is another episode of Cat Chats. I don't remember what episode we are on, but we are on a new episode. Side note, guys, isn't this perfect? An amazing subscriber named Amy sent this to me in my PO box and I nearly cried when I opened it. I vlogged it. Oh my god, it is so cute. And little K, like my name. Oh my god, I love it. And I actually am gonna hang it up right here. And then I'm gonna hang it and then move this out of the way. But as for right now, it's just sitting here. So cute, right? I love it. You know what, let's move everything out of the way for this video. Well, okay, so I couldn't move everything out of the way because I have nowhere else to put my perfumes, but you like my little Buddha? It's a big bank. Anyway, I'm drinking tea right now. I'm trying to get into drinking more tea. This is actually tiny tea. Supposedly good for you, so I'm drinking it. I had lip gloss off and had to take it off because nothing bothers me more than seeing like my lips marked on a cup. So today's Cat Chats is gonna be part 2 of story time. I don't know why it's taking me so long to film this video. Honestly, did part 1 not thinking that many people were gonna like it, but I had such an overwhelmingly positive response in that video that I was just taken back, and I asked you guys in that video if you wanted to see a part 2 of story time, and you guys were like, yes, part 2. And ever since then, I have been requested, like, where's your Cat Chats? Where's part 2? Where's part 2? Like every day since I did that video. And I did that video like over a month ago, or like a month ago, and I'm so sorry that it is taking me this long, that it's taken me this long to post this. It's crazy. If you guys don't know what story time is, if you haven't seen part 1, basically I just sat here and told you guys little things about my life, like little stories that for some reason stuck with me, awkward situations, funny situations that happened to me growing up, and I decided to share it with you guys. If you haven't seen part 1 though, I highly recommend you watch that one before you watch this one, because you might be lost with certain people. Like, I'm going to be talking more about Samantha in this video, and a lot of you who saw part 1 know exactly who Samantha is, but if you didn't, you have no idea who Samantha is. You get me? I definitely recommend you watching part 1 so you know more of the background of who Janine, Samantha, Maila is, and all that stuff. So let's get started. So Sam's family every year throws like this really great New Year's Eve party. Everybody goes, the whole family, it's a great time. And so about 5 years ago, I think it was 5 years ago, I went and I was sleeping over that night. My sister was there, everybody was there, you know, the whole family, all that good stuff. And I have never seen Samantha drink ever in my life, and especially not before this point. We were young. We were like 17 years old or almost 18, and yeah, definitely underage to drink. But I don't know, Samantha was like going through some ish in her life at this point or something. So she decided that she was just gonna drink on New Year's and she was not gonna care about anything in the world, and she was just gonna drink and have a good time. So everybody supported that decision, and she drank with a purpose, let me tell you. I had never seen her drink before, so it was just strange. It was like shot after shot after shot, and it was fun to watch. Actually, I'm pretty sure that my brother-in-law found her in the front yard kissing some guy in a car, or on a car. I don't remember. But anyway, since Samantha wasn't a drinker and really never had alcohol before this, she got drunk very, very fast and passed out very, very fast. So I remember she was just laying in her room, like super like sleeping, passed out, and I took this time to take selfies with her all night. It's just really funny when your friend is like drunk and you're fully sober. It's a fun time to take pictures because I'm just that kind of friend. Anyway, that's not the funny part, although that night was very funny. That's not the funny part. Samantha woke up with a massive hangover. I'm talking like massive hangover. We were home alone, and I don't know where the rest of her family went, but we were home alone in her house. And let me tell you, weird things happened to me and Samantha when we are home alone in her house. But anyway, that's a story for another time. Samantha starts washing the dishes. She feels like crap, like really feels like crap. And she's washing the dishes, and it's like this giant pile of dishes. Side note, she didn't let me help her wash the dishes. She was doing it all by herself. So it's this giant pile of dishes, and she's just washing them and feeling like death. And I'm telling her, mind you, I'm like 17, I don't know what the hell I'm talking about, but I'm sitting there and I'm like, you know what's gonna make you feel better is if you take another shot. And she's like, what are you talking about? And I'm like, yeah, I've heard it a million times that alcohol cures a hangover. And she didn't believe me, but I really kept insisting, and I kept pushing it and pushing it and pushing it. And I was like, come on, just take a shot, just do it, it'll make you feel better, I swear, I promise. I've seen this so many times. So at this point she's like aggravated and almost done washing the dishes, and I'm like, Samantha, you are such a wuss, just do it. And if you know Samantha, you know that you cannot call her a wuss, because if you do, she'll do anything you tell her to do as long as you tell her she's a wuss. She will jump off a building if you tell her, you're not gonna do it, you're such a wuss. She'll be like, really? And jump off a building and die with a purpose. So after I called her a wuss, she's like, fine. So we went into like her mom's cabinet and we got like, I don't know, what tequila, I don't even know what it was. And I poured a shot for her and I handed her the shot glass, and she's done washing the dishes. She's standing over the sink. And she takes this shot of alcohol, and immediately I could see the look of regret in her eyes. Immediately. All of a sudden, she just projectile vomits all over the dishes she just washed. Like hardcore pukes all over these clean dishes. And then she like looks up at me with this face, and I'm like, oops. Moral of the story, don't offer your friend a shot of tequila when they have a hangover. So let's talk about karma really fast. Karma exists. I mean, sometimes you have your doubts about karma, but more often than not, I mean, it slaps you right in the face. One time, my cousin and I are walking in school, Janine, we went to the same high school, so this is driving me nuts. I keep hitting it. Like, what is even life? There we go, that works. And I remember there was this guy who was like madly in love with Janine, like obsessed with Janine. And this was really mean for me to do. Like, I think about it all the time and I'm like, people in high school are so dumb. No, not that everybody in high school is dumb, but I definitely was. So I remember we're walking through we're walking through the hallway, and I see this kid turn the corner, which is the guy that like was in love with Janine. So he like turns the corner and we are walking together, and I look at him, and as soon as he passes by me, I'm like, hey Janine, isn't that guy you like? And I start to laugh because I think that's so funny. And she looks at me with this face, like her face turns bright red, and that kid like turned around like, what? Like Janine likes me, whatever. And then he just kept walking and we kept walking, and then I started to crack up. I thought it was the funniest thing I had done all year. And then we turned the corner, and as we turned the corner, some kid turns another corner, and it's a guy that like had a crush on me, but I tried to avoid 90% of the time because he was very, very strange. Like, and I like strange, I love strange, clearly I am very strange, but he was like creepy strange, very creepy. And then he turns the corner, and as soon as he turns the corner, I look at Janine and I'm like, oh no. She looks back at me and she's like, yeah. So the second he walks by, she looks at me and she's like, Kathleen, isn't that guy you like? And then he turns around, and then I turn bright red, and then to top it all off, he texted me for like 4 days after that to ask me if that was true, and did not let it go till I graduated high school. Did not let it go. So that's another lesson I shall pass on to you. Be careful what you say. Speaking of embarrassing things I put Janine through, our family is Catholic. I don't go to church every Sunday or anything like that, but our family is Catholic. So I do have a goddaughter, and in order to baptize my goddaughter, I had to go through like communion class and confirmation class. If you're Catholic, you know what I'm talking about. So my cousin did it with me, and then my best friend did it with me because I didn't want to do it alone. So Janine and Amelia both did confirmation with me and the communion. And one time we were just standing in church. We had to go like every Thursday or something. I don't remember. It was like my senior year of high school, my junior year. And we had to go every Thursday, and we had to stand up and sing like religious songs and do all this stuff. And one time the man was playing the piano, and it was a beautiful song, you know. And all of a sudden I had like the biggest urge to sneeze. And when I sneeze, like it is loud. It is loud and it's in charge. So I was like, oh God, I'm like trying to hold myself. And somebody told me once that if you hold your sneezes, like if you sneeze like that, like you can have a heart attack. Somebody told me that when I was like 7, and it's traumatized me ever since. I never hold my sneeze. I don't know if that's true. It probably isn't, but still, I'm traumatized. So I'm standing there and no one is saying a word. It's like very quiet. All you hear is this beautiful melody on the piano. I just couldn't hold it anymore. So I turned to the side. Janine is standing right here. Emilia, right here. So I turned to the side to try to hide my sneeze. And it was like, ah, no! And I sneezed all over Janine. It was like an uncontrollable, I just sneezed all over my cousin. Loudest sneeze in the world. And then all of a sudden, like, the piano man stopped, and then everybody was like, and I was just standing there like, Janine was like, and it was like a dead silence for like a couple seconds. And then the teacher, the confirmation teacher, which made it so much better, honestly, she was like, oh my god, did you guys see that? This girl literally just sneezed all over her cousin. Did you guys see this? And I was just like, huh? That was me, sorry. So if you guys saw Cat Chats Part 1, you guys know who Geppetto is. Geppetto was my 9th grade teacher. Mr. Viles, he was my 9th grade math teacher. Worst class in the history of life. So, I have so many stories about Geppetto's class that I really cannot cram it all into one video, but Sam made that class so much better. If it wasn't for Sam, I would have died in that class. Okay, so being from Miami, going to a school where everybody is, 90% of the people there are Hispanic, everyone you go to high school with speaks Spanish. So there was this girl that sat right in front of Sam in that class, and she didn't really speak English all that well. She had a boyfriend, and every month this guy would give her a gift, like on their month-iversary, I guess. Like every month she would come to class with a gift, like religiously, like on the 5th of every month. And so Samantha and I would sit there every month like, ooh, it's the 5th. I wonder what she's bringing in today. Because we just thought it was so funny. And there were like these giant teddy bears and these, it's like crazy. It was hilarious. So then one day she walks in with like this giant bouquet of red roses, like huge bouquet of flowers. And she sits down and we're like talking about it behind her. We're like, oh my god, flowers, you got her flowers. And then whatever, the class went on, and eventually the girl like falls asleep, as everybody did in that class. And then Samantha and I are just sitting there talking crap, and the girl sat directly in front of her, but I sat right next to Sam. And I tapped Samantha and I'm like, let me see. And she's like, what are you talking about? I'm like, let me see the rose. Grab a rose. I want to see it. The girl was friends with us. Don't think that I'm like trying to steal somebody's flowers. She was like, you know, we always made fun of the fact that her boyfriend would get her stuff, and she thought it was funny too. Like, it was, everybody, like, we had a good sense of humor in that class. So Samantha reaches over to like grab this rose without disturbing the girl who's sleeping. She like leans over very softly and like grabs the rose. And when she goes to hand it to me, this girl had like really big, beautiful, like curly hair. And then she goes to hand it to me, and it gets stuck in this girl's hair. And I'm sitting there like, ugh. And she starts to, instead of like taking it off softly, she starts to yank the rose. She's like, and this girl's head like cocks back, and it was like the biggest disaster ever. She almost broke this girl's neck. The flower was literally caught in her hair with thorns. It was a disaster. And the girl got like so mad at Samantha and was like, it's one of those stories that you really have to be there in order to understand what happened. But yeah, we all got F's for the day, as we did all the time in that class. Because Samantha can't grab a rose like a normal person. Speaking of sleeping in that class, I used to sleep in that class all the time. We actually sat at the very, very back of the class, like the very back row, and it had like something like this, like right behind me. I sat facing the chalkboard, and I had like a desk thing back there. So I was always asleep like this. But Samantha and I made a deal that if Geppetto were to walk back there or to look back there, that she would like nudge me to wake up. And then one time, I was just so tired. That class was really early. It was our first class, like 8 in the morning. And I decided to fall asleep. And then all of a sudden, I feel this tap on my shoulder. And when I open my eyes, Geppetto is looking at me like... And I get up and I have literally that white crusty stuff that happens when you drool. I had all the little white crusties all the way down to my neck. And I get up like... I look up at him and he's like, you have an F for the day. And he walks away and I look over at Samantha and I'm like, and she was like, Sorry. I literally was asleep like this. Everybody was staring at me. Geppetto walks away and everyone is staring at me with white crusties coming down my face. I have a lot of stories about my best friend Emilia. I swear she says something ridiculous and funny every day of her life. And sometimes she says things and I'm like... And one time my parents were still together and they were like renewing their vows. And we were sitting in my room and my mom walks in with like these really pretty pearl, like this really pretty pearl necklace. And she hands us the pearls and she's like, oh my god, look, they're real pearls. I got them to renew my vows with your dad. They're real pearls, they're beautiful. And Emilia's like, they're real pearls? And my mom was like, yeah, they're real pearls, they're gorgeous. And like she hands the pearls to Emilia. And I'm there talking to my mom, you know, we're just talking about like the vows and stuff. And I look over at Emilia and she's like, and I'm like, girl, what is you doing? And she's like, no, these can't be real pearls. They don't smell like the ocean. True story. Oh my god, one time I was with Emilia at my house. Emilia was at my house every day. Actually, that's never changed. Danny was on deployment recently and Emilia probably slept over my house like every day. When I'm in Miami, she's with me every day. So whenever there was like a hurricane or the power went out, Emilia would come over my house. Her dad drops her off. We're like in high school. I think it was like my freshman year of high school. And Emilia's dad drops her off and we're just hanging out in my house because it's like a huge hurricane and then all the power goes off. So the only thing we had was like one of those candles you use to light. One of those lights that are like long and you use to light your candles with. Or you use like, well, I used to light my candles with. You're supposed to use that for like a grill or something. So that's the only source of light we had. So Emilia's like walking around with this like light thing that's like really long. And for some reason, I'm like playing with hairspray in my room. I don't know why. And it was like my mom's hairspray. And I'm spraying this hairspray and it smells so good. So I like walk back into the room. It's like pitch black. I can't see anything. But I walk back into the room and I'm holding the hairspray and I'm like, Emilia. She's like, what? I'm right here. And I'm like, I can't see you. And she's like, I'm right here. And I'm like, I can't see you, but smell this hairspray. And the second I press down on the hairspray, Emilia turns on the lighter. You saw nothing but this giant ball of fire. Like she lit it and I sprayed the hairspray and it went like right in her face because she was holding the lighter. And it was like, my whole room lit up. I freaked out. I dropped the hairspray and I'm pretty sure Emilia was missing an eyebrow for like 2 months. Hairspray and fire, they don't mix. Actually, another thing that I accidentally put in Emilia's hair, we were at her house one day and I don't know what she was telling me. She knows I hate cockroaches. Like, I hate cockroaches. I'm not really scared of bugs at all. I'm not scared of any of that stuff. But cockroaches freak me out. I hate them. And then one time we were at her house and there was like a cockroach in the ceiling of the bathroom. Like her ceiling on her bathroom was clear and you could kind of, it was weird. But I saw a cockroach and I called her and I'm like, oh my god, there's a cockroach. So she walks in there, she's like, who cares? I'm like, I really have to pee, but I don't want to pee because there's a cockroach in there. She's like, are you kidding me? That's ridiculous, just pee. So I left the bathroom and then 10 minutes later she like leaves the bathroom and goes into the kitchen and she calls me from the kitchen. She's like, hey cat, come here. And I'm like, and I walk into the kitchen, I'm like, what? And she's like, look. And she holds the cockroach right in my face, And so I scream at the top of my lungs and I'm like, ah, and then I flick it because that's like my initial reaction is to flick it. And the cockroach went right into her hair, like right here. I flicked it and it went right here and she's like, ah, she starts to freak out and scream. And then I threw myself on the floor cracking up so bad because I didn't mean to flick it in her hair. But then her reaction was hilarious that I peed all over Emilia's kitchen floor. I peed everywhere. I had to pee so bad that I laughed so hard that I peed on her kitchen floor. If that doesn't create a strong friendship, I don't know what does. I know that this video may seem kind of stupid because these are kind of stories that are only funny in the moment, like you have to be there to understand kind of thing, which is true, you kind of had to be there, but I just want you guys to get to know me on a more personal level as well, so So I hope you enjoyed this video. Anyway, my camera literally is about to die like any second. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoy my cat chats videos. Please subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.